guys, brief review of Bogota from us. We're going to go through a few tips, and these will all be listed below. But first of all, where to stay.
So my opinion, you like Zona Rosa, Zona T?
I like staying near Zona T. You're going to pay a bit of a premium for that.
Yeah, I like Park 93. It's only a 5-minute taxi cab away, and a taxi is so cheap here. It's like you grab one on the street, and it's going to cost you $3 US, $2.50 US, depending on traffic, and it's going to take 5 minutes to get there.
And it's the difference between, I prefer Airbnbs, so Cabrera is pretty good for that, 5 minutes outside Zona T.
Yep.
You prefer
I really prefer hotels, especially because right now they're cleaning my hotel, so I'll go back and the bed's made and I don't have to worry about lipstick on the pillows or whatever. So it's always fresh and new.
The downside usually to that is sometimes you get issues with
in Colombia, yeah, like them checking.
Yeah.
So in Colombia, it's normal.
For 2 people, they're going to be like, oh no, hold on, you've had one guest registered. You're going to pay more now.
Normally so you don't really usually have to pay extra for 2 people, maybe a tiny bit more if they have breakfast included. So I always book for 2 people, but it is kind of a common scam in Colombia. They will register the first girl you take there as I'm person 1, she's person 2, even if she was there for an hour. And then she's gone, maybe she never comes back, and then 2 days later, someone else comes, and they'll say that's person 3, and they'll say I'm going to charge you an extra $40 US for person 3, even though she was only there for 2 hours or something, right? And so you can get around that. Like usually I will just let those accumulate, and then at checkout I just will say I'm not paying them, and then there'll be a bit of a pissing match, and I'll say, hey, look, I'll pay for everything right now. I got no problem, but I'm not paying for those. And then eventually they'll take them off.
Just kind of hold
and I can say, hey, look, that way I can give you a really good review on Expedia or wherever I booked it from. I usually use booking.com. I find them to be the best.
Okay, yeah.
And the place I'm staying now, right by Park 93, the nice thing is Park 93 is like, it's got it's about maybe a rectangle, and I think it's probably about 2 blocks by 3 or 4 blocks. And there's like grass and everything in the center that you can walk around, and all around the perimeter there's restaurants and cafes.
Yeah.
So there's lots of different places. The one nice thing is you could meet someone at Park 93 right now for a 3 o'clock date, and then you could meet somebody in Zona Rosa, Zona T for a 6 o'clock date. Or if you were doing day game here all day, then you could go there for a date. It is small enough, like we found this out with the girl that you'd seen on Tinder that I was then on the instant date. It is, even though it's 11 million people here, it is concentrated enough that you will start seeing the same people.
Especially
in one little tiny
Zona T,
locale.
right?
Yeah. Zona T is a very popular place. It's an awesome place to hang out and meet chicks and Andina Mall. But if you're only going there, and if you line up like 3 dates in a row there, at 1 o'clock, at 5 o'clock, at 8 o'clock, there's a high enough chance that you might have had a great date at 1 o'clock, and then you're on your date with the next girl, and the first girl walks by you, and she's like, prick, and you burn the number, right?
Yeah.
So I think there's 2 good options, and apparently there's another park nearby that's even better, a little bit bigger. But for me, the place I stay, we'll list it below. I found this one place that's fucking incredible. $50 Canadian a night, including breakfast for 2 people. It's right like a 1 block walk from Park 93.
$25 a night, which is nothing.
Oh, $50 Canadian, so maybe 35 US, okay. Which is nothing. Like, I mean, it would be 5-6 times as much in Canada. It's, I would say, 4.5 star. It's really nice. You haven't seen my place, but I've got it's like 40 square meters, king size bed. Really nice. Like, looks like a nice, modern, furnished, or renovated apartment. Walk-in closet, the bathroom's really nice. You can use the shower for 2 people.
You can take some photos when you go back, and then we'll put them in.
Yeah, I highly, highly recommend it. And it's the first place I've seen in Colombia where the guy just kind of looks the other way. I've walked in there with somebody, and you just walk right past and go up to your room, and you're done. Okay. You don't have to, sign her in and scan her information and everything, which is kind of a bit of a interruption on a date anyway. Yep. And there is times I've gone to a hotel, you go there with Jennifer, and then the next day you're there with Angela, and can we edit that out? I don't want to use that name. Yeah. The first day you're there with Jennifer, and then the next day you're there with, Camila, and I have to try and keep this hypothetical here. And then, Jennifer in Colombia, that's rare. Yeah. But then you actually go and register her, and I've had this happen twice. The guy at the desk goes, oh, but sir, no, I've had it happen 3 times. Sir, Jennifer is the other person listed on the reservation. So then you're standing there with the second person, and she's like, "You fucking prick, who's so and so? When was the last time you had somebody here?" And like it's an interruption to your date, right? So,
Hey, Leo, how you doing?
I would, yeah, I highly, highly, highly recommend this place. It's the only place I'll be staying in Bogota if they're available. Cool. And then I've got one. I don't know if you want to include it in here, but
yeah,
anybody,
we'll just list them below. It's fine.
I've got a good an incredible Baron
We'll
Kia
put that
lead
in
as
there
well.
as well. In terms of time of year to go here, December to March is probably about right.
I don't think it matters in Bogota. Like Bogota and Medellin,
all year round.
it might be a little tiny bit worse in kind of November-ish weather-wise, but Bogota's the weather isn't the best. That's the only drawback here for me. The weather is cooler than anywhere else in Colombia, I think, high elevation, and but the climate here is very consistent the whole year round. Mm-hmm. Medellin, the climate is like 25, 26 degrees every day of the year.
Yeah, that's the side down.
You know, the coastal cities are going to be a little bit hotter at certain times and cooler. But yeah, I'm having a blast. That's why I extended my stay a week even after you leave. And initially I was giving you shit for even coming here for 2 weeks. I was like, dude, I don't want to go to Bogota. Fuck that. Come meet me in Medellin.
Day game, where's the best places in Bogota?
I would say Zona Rosa, Zona T. It's kind of the same thing.
All
Zona
around,
T.
it's kind of the main, it's kind of the rich area.
Yeah, you want to go to the rich area. So I would say that's Andina Mall. That's
El Retiro Mall. And they've got a third mall
Zona T. You can try, there's another mall nearby, Unicentro. It's not bad.
That was good.
What was the name of that? Parque La Colina? La Colina. Parque La Colina, that's like there weren't that many people there. We didn't go at the right time. But if you look on Google and then go there at the right time when it's really busy, it was a fucking incredible mall. Like the nicest mall I've seen in Bogota.
Right, so we'll list that below. Parque 93 as well is very good. For day
Parque
game,
93.
especially at lunchtimes.
Do be aware, we got busted with our camera guy here. There's lots of security in the malls here, so don't be a fucking idiot. So if you're walking around, especially if you're with a couple other guys or whatever, that's fine to approach women and tell them they look incredible and get their numbers. That's no problem. But don't make it obvious what you're doing. It's gonna, if women feel creepy because you're hanging out right here on this patio and you hit every woman that walks by, then you're an idiot and you deserve to be booted out by security. But we actually had security bust us with the cameraman. I had a great interaction with this chick, and she was with her mom. And then after I got her number, the security came by and said, "Excuse me, do you know that guy?" And the cameraman was standing there filming. And then she goes, "No, well, because he's filming you." And then she's like, "What? Are you filming me?" And I'm like, "No, innocent." And then security detained us for like 20 minutes or something.
Just be a bit
called
subtle.
the police came, plus she was there with her mom going like, "Show me the footage, why are you taking videos of that?" And I was just like, I feel like a worthless human being, right? So be wise, because there's lots of security watching you, right?
Yeah, okay, that's a good point. Date spots.
Don't do what you always do, the Tusk. Hey, what about the one in white? Do you like the one in white? Over there? Dude, can you be subtle?
Be more subtle than that. Date spots you like, crepes and waffles.
Crepes and waffles is really funny because it's run by feminists, literally. But it's actually extremely consistent food. They got a salad bar there. The cappuccinos are great. The locations, like, there's a location all over the place if you're in Colombia. And women go to them all the time. They're very safe feeling. It's kind of quasi-comfort food. There is some healthy options on the menu.
Starbucks you like as well, and then for nighttime dates, Averjo and Cabrera are both pretty good.
Obejo's great in Zona T. That's a solid place.
And Cabrera as well. I like.
Yeah, Cabrera, the food is fucking divine.
Night spots, Teatron Caput, very good kind of clubby if you're into the clubby stuff.
Personally, I hated Teatron because there were like 300 men and some of them naked and like 20 men or 20 women.
I loved it. It was completely opposite.
A funny side, the girl last night told me, because I posted a video. Remember the video I took while I was with you? I stood in the middle and I went around so you could see the name, and I put that on Instagram. And she saw it and she said, "Yeah, I thought you were gay." So she's like, I've totally had a great interaction. This is the girl that you pushed me into the store with, the girl that I was with yesterday.
Okay.
So she told me last night, she's like, yeah, like we had this great interaction. Everything was really great, the sexual energy and everything. And then I saw your Instagram and I saw this video from this gay bar and I was like, "Oh shit, he's gay." And then I looked at all your other stuff. I only have pictures of me with guys there, like a picture of me hugging you or something, right? And I was like, listening to her going, "Oh my God, that's so funny." Like pretty much the exact extreme opposite of a gay guy. I love feminine women, right? But I thought that was funny.
Yeah,
I wouldn't do theatron myself.
I like it as a kind of mess.
But you're more clubby than me.
Yeah, everyone taking drugs and having fun. There were some hot girls there, but I get your point. If you kind of, it's a bit of a divisive one.
I mean, if you're not into naked men walking around while you're interacting with women,
Then
if you have any issues with that.
Caput is also
But the
very
other
good.
one, the first bar we went to was amazing. Amando Records, what's the
Amando
name
Records,
of it?
yeah, that's cool.
Amando?
Amando Records.
Amando Records, right by Zona T,
Also
walking
kind of
distance.
clubby, but you've got a mix.
Fucking
haven't you?
awesome.
That
It was
cool.
like two levels, I think kind of salsa and mix of stuff on level 1. And then the terrace is open, which I always love, on level 2. And it was like techno
That was
and
cool.
electronic.
Also
really cool. Good
also
crowd.
Caput, very, very cool club, and Clandestino as well.
Another good club is 404, right in Zona T. I went there last night with the night before with the feminine girl.
Okay.
If you learn to dance salsa here, there's a lot of good options. There's also Cantina 15, but that's more like a mariachi Mexican restaurant. And then I think they move the tables in the evening, and it becomes a bit more of a dance
And another
bar.
good bar called Cachao, I've just remembered, which is kind of a rum bar with salsa. But we'll list all these below.
Another one, that Club Colombia, where we went in, me, you, and the
Oh yeah,
student.
that's always good. Yeah,
That was
as
a good
bar-
one.
as a
Again,
bar.
more like salsa, cumbia.
But that's busy every night of the week, so that's a good option for guys as well.
Yeah, and that's a fun one. When we were in there, I was with a girl that I'd met out front, and but I was looking around, and there was like the ratio of men to women was like more than double the women.
Yeah.
Like there were probably 20 women twiddling their thumbs, at least 15. And so if you come to Latin America, dude, invest in a little bit of salsa skills, and then all those places are open to you. And if you're dancing salsa with a girl, it's like having sex with her on the dance floor. It's a pretty good foreplay.
That's a good point. So, on to the important bit. Girls in Medellin. Girls in Bogota. How do you rate them overall compared to other Colombian cities?
Before this trip, I would say good. You know, I would have said below Medellin and below Cartagena. Myself, Cali, not too much there for me, and the way that the city's set up is difficult. There's no locales where you can just go and interact with lots of people. There's just the shopping mall, you know, and then the parties. But that one club, 1360, I think it was, that we went to, and the third floor is open. That was delicious. But Cali, I wouldn't say. I don't think the women were as hot. Bogota, very sophisticated because it's the core of Colombia. It's the epicenter. And like, fuck, I've met a lot of gorgeous women. I was just going through my phone, like 60 numbers or something in a week and a half.
And they're all
2
good
weeks.
looking.
And they're like, you know, either stunning or divine.
I'd say the quality is definitely here. It's not somewhere you think about. A lot of guys think of these places like Manizales or Pereira or Medellin, but actually, I think there's a lot of quality here.
It's a little bit more dangerous. You have to be, even in the good zone, you have to be a little bit more on check. I've had two phones stolen here.
Not in the same trip.
No, not on the same trip.
Once a year.
Yeah.
You give a phone to the Colombian community.
It's just a donation, you know. I'm a very generous guy, but so you got to be a bit more on point. But as far as the women, I mean, the one nice thing, if you go to Cartagena, you know, half of the time you got to deal with women that are like
Pros.
you interact with her, and then she turns out being a pro, and so that's fine. You can turn her and give her the boyfriend experience. But the energy is a little bit different because she's a bit more in a transactional business mindset, and you got to be able to pull her out of that mindset, you know, like a stripper or something. But you know, I haven't had that here. I think I've had that here 2 or 3 times, like 2 or 3 women that I met.
They're more legitimate
out of,
women.
and that's out of like 4 weeks that I've been here total, and maybe I don't even know. That's like out of hundreds of women that I've interacted with, and it's been 3. I mean, that's very small. It's probably the same as you'd have. That's even less than you'd have in like Scottsdale or in Vegas or something. You know?
That's true. They will turn up with their friends. They will test the shit out of you. I've got written down here.
Yeah.
So
you
they will
will
just
be
randomly throw spanners into the works of turning up on a date
totally.
with a friend.
Yeah,
And you just
or
gotta
she'll tell you in advance, right? Which you can turn into a double. And at first, I used to view that as she was trying to use me for money and set me up as a sugar daddy. Then I started to realize, no, actually, I think that's more, especially if it's an evening date, it's a safety issue.
Yeah.
You know, she's like, this is something you got to understand, especially if you want to date any women, but if you're out of the West, you're in like Colombia, you know, women get raped here all the time. Women get sold into sexual slavery. Like, bad shit happens. Women get the shit kicked out of them. They get roofied. Like bad shit happens. So you have to be, I'm a 44-year-old guy dating this 20-year-old girl that's half my size.
You've got to put yourself into her shoes. And
like have a little
why she's
empathy
doing
and
it.
stop being such a prick about it.
Yeah.
You know, like, and so she's trying to, her first concern is to feel safe. So a lot of the things that she'll be doing is to try and hedge her risk and make sure that she's safe, which is fine. Like, I want her to be safe too, and she doesn't know me. So it's like, And so one of the things is, can I meet you with my friend? And then that way she's a little bit more safe. So no problem. Bring a guy, bring one of your wings, and have a double date. And then worst case scenario on the next date, go single or separate in the double date, you know?
Always go for the instant date.
Yeah,
Colombian
flake
women
factory.
just are massively flaky. It's one
They're
of the
in the
flakiest
moment.
places I've ever been.
They're super feminine, so they're in their emotional reality, the present.
I'd say I get probably 80 to 90% flakes here. But
Last week I was getting much more flakes. This week, I don't know why
You
none of
just
my
haven't-
numbers have turned
yeah.
into flakes, but they've all been numbers that I interacted with a little bit longer too, right? You know, if you're only here a week, it's tricky because usually the next week is when all the fruit comes from the investment that I made in the first week.
we're doing farming analogies now.
Yeah, more or less.
Is that what we're
So
doing?
you can get lots of apples out of them. How do you like them apples?
But the key is go for the instant date. They are very in the moment. It's just the culture. It's not just women, the men. It's a very emotional kind of in the moment culture, and it's just part of the game that you're going to get a lot of flakes. So go for the
And
instant date.
I think
every
so
time.
much stuff happens. Like people get sick here, you know, like even me, like you get
It's a
food
capital
poisoning,
city, things are
there's
happening.
traffic issues, there's weather issues, there's work, women work a lot here. So it's just kind of like, you know, she could be totally into it and then her boss tells her, oh, you got to work for the next 4 days and you're fucked, right? So go for the instant date every single time.
Yeah, that's a great point. And then small stuff like paying for their taxis and stuff like that, that's a big thing.
You have to pay. You're the guy. I think you have to be a
Very
bit...
feminine versus masculine culture, same as Russia. You've just got to cover that shit.
Yeah, it's not about being a provider. Like I won't pay a lot for her. We go for coffee, that's $10, right? So I'm not convinced. I'm not communicating. I'm very careful to not communicate. Yeah, you know, I'm a provider. I'm a sugar daddy potential guy. I won't go into that frame at all. So I do that by not paying a lot. But the basics, I pay everything. So like getting her to me or getting her back home safely.
Offering her an Uber. That's completely normal here. So guys that are coming here, foreign guys, American guys.
So if she hits up and says like, okay, I'm coming to see you or whatever, can you send me an Uber?
Don't be
the guy in the West that's like, but it's egalitarian, you're trying to use me for money.
It's not like that at all.
No, and you got to be compassionate and empathetic. I'm 44, I come from Canada. The women here, you know, she's 20, she's working a job at Starbucks. She's making $350 US a month.
Max.
From like 50 hours a week. Like they own her like a slave. And they can change her schedule however they want for the business. So you go, and she's probably putting up with her boss like touching her ass and sexual harassment because she has to, because it's a good job. So, you know, and that's at all jobs, right? I've talked to lots of girls that, you know, quit their job because their boss is basically, fuck me or I'm firing you.
Yeah, so
and they have no recourse. This isn't the US, right? They have no recourse. There's no justice here, right? So you go, she's making $300 US. I'm me. Okay, maybe I pay the $3 for her taxi to get home, you know? It's my job to get her safely to me. It's my job to keep her safe and keep her feeling safe. And it's my job to get her safely home. And so I take that seriously. And it costs a total of like $10 for coffee and like $3.50 each way for her Uber or whatever, right? It's a no-brainer. Like stop being so Western-minded and just whatever.
So too long not to listen to this or watch this. Would you recommend Bogota as a place to come to learn day game?
Before, no. But
Now,
the last 2 weeks, yeah, you've converted me really well.
Great. So come to Bogota. It's a great place to game. Yeah, hot girls. What else could you ask
What
for?
more do you need?
Cool.
Take care, guys.